Good morning, everybody. My name is Louise Golden from Clarity Crafts here in the UK. Welcome to Groovi Tuesday. I hope everybody's okay. I'm going to do my usual rambling, so to wait until everybody comes in the room. Jane's going to be in the room today with you, so if you have any questions, she'll be there to help, and she can filter through any queries or things to me as well. So come on in. The weather is a little bit chilly this morning. I've just taken my cardigan off though, just in case, because sometimes the studio gets a little bit warm. But yeah, it was a bit chilly today, but yeah, it's a little bit sunny, a little bit chilly, but you know, it's nice. It feels autumnal now. It's definitely, yeah, we can definitely sense the autumnness in the air. So yeah, so we're just going to continue this week with our project that we started last week. This was the one with the Linda's Floral Gifts. So they're really, really lovely plates. There's 4 of them, but I'm using 2. I'm using the lovely primula in the flower pot, and also I'm using the tulip one as well. We use the tulip one for the ribbon around the sides, and then I use that really lovely primula bouquet that was in the flower pot. Yeah, I used that on the corners as well. Talking of bouquet, actually, it was really sad to see that Patricia Routledge passed away this week. So that was like, I used to watch Keeping Up Appearances with my grandma, so I kind of grew up with listening to Hyacinth Bouquet Bucket. So yeah, that was a sad one, but hope everybody's doing okay. So yeah, it's going to be just a nice chill morning. We're gonna what we're going to do, we're going to do a little bit of white work, just a little tiny bit, and then in one of the decorative circles, we're going to just do a little bit of grid. It's not grid work, it's just using the straight grid just to do a little bit of a background, and then we're going to tackle some colouring. So yeah, it's going to be a nice chill morning. So looks like a few more people are in the room now, so that's good. Sounds all good, thank you, Jane. And it's also chilly where you are too. So yeah, I think we're definitely feeling the autumn in the air. But I like autumn, I really do. I like getting cozy. I like hot chocolates, getting cozy, doing some crafting indoors, do some art and things like that. I've been on Instagram a lot recently, and there's this thing where it's called Artober. So instead of October, it's Artober. And people are doing a little bit of art each day for October. I thought that was a really nice idea. So I've been doing a little bit of art each day. But yeah, I do a little bit of, bit of parchment, a little bit of messy play. I think it's good to have variety. I like everything nice and clean with my parchment, and then I do a little bit of art journaling, and it just kind of gets me out of my head into like a page. But you can do things like that in half an hour, whereas obviously with parchment it takes a little bit longer. It's a process, parchment is, but you can get things done a lot quicker with die cutting or stamps or any kind of painting. I've been learning a little bit of gouache, so a little bit between acrylic and watercolor, so that's been fun. I like learning different things, and sometimes those crafts can then come into parchment a little bit. So, my gouache painting, my one-stroke painting can come into like the parchment side of things, which is really nice too. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to get into the project, because that's why we're here, and also to have some nice chat in the comments, which is nice. I like seeing everybody's what everybody's getting up to. Good morning, everybody. I can see lots of lovely familiar faces in the chat, so that's good. Yeah, it's Inktober is same as Arttober. People, some people call it Inktober, some people call it Arttober. I think somebody what's it called, trademarked the word Inktober, so a lot of people have to use Arttober now. But I think it's so good to just do a little bit of art each day. That's why the mini makes yesterday, the mini makes yesterday are a really good idea. If you wanted to do just a little bit of art each day, whether it's an ATC or a PTC, just a little bit of art each day, it's so nice to just get out of your head and into something. It's so easy, I think, to come home and you know, sometimes I'll go home and my mum wants to watch a film or something, so it's so easy to get into just watching telly. But if you've got like a little tray, you know, just do a little PTC or something, just to get your mind creative every day. I think it's so good. Right, back to the project. Here we go. So yep, so if I bring the 2 plates I used in here, so this one is number 42518, and that's a tulip. So we used a little bow that's there. I don't know if that's better, you can see it there. So we use that both sides here, and then we use that lovely primula more or less as it comes, just in the corners there. You can see it better there. So yeah, and we used this little bit here. I put a little bit of a tag on the side, and I've just created 2 white lines, and that's where we're going to do our tool work to create this little bit. I think I like cards that have little things attached, so you can play with it. Stop playing with it, Louise. Yeah, so, and I also have used just these little twiddly bits on the primula plate, just to create little, if I come in a little bit more, let's move the card out the way for a second, just little twiddly bits. And then I've just used my little tool. You can use a grid if you wanted to do that. This is just little extra little decorative bits and pieces just around the edge. I think it just brings it all back in. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have great fun with that today. So let me just move that. So what I thought I'd do to start off with, I'm going to use my Groovi tool, which is in the starter kit, just the number 3 and the 4. And as you can see in this card here, I've done some white work in the scallop, or you can use a white pencil if you didn't want to do the white work in there. I've just kind of just a little bit, I use the number 2 for this part. I've kind of made the ribbon a little bit wider around the edges. So as you can see on here, it's just one line, but on here I've kind of thickened the edges a little bit, just so it looks more like a ribbon. So I've done that. So that's a little bit of white work, which we'll tackle. And there was a little bit of white work in these flowers. You don't have to do any white work in the flowers if you don't want to, but I've just done a little bit in this flower. You can just colour that in if you wanted to. And then we're going to tackle a little bit of blending with Dorso oil, not too much. You can dry blend as well, or you can just the little tiniest tad of Dorso oil just to kind of melt the pigment a little bit. And then I've coloured on the back, but then I have come in later on and just coloured on the front a little bit, just to make the colours a little bit more intense. I love blue flowers. I always have. I get excited by seeing a blue flower. I think maybe because you don't normally see a lot of blue flowers. I used to always buy my mum a blue orchid whenever, hold on, let me use, I'm going to turn it over onto the soft side here. I've got a little bit of, I don't want that. Yeah, I always used to buy my mum a blue orchid because she loves orchids and I love blue flowers. So I thought, oh, she'll appreciate blue orchid. Obviously, when they reflower, they go white, but you just put some iron filings in, and it makes it blue again. And that's a bit like, I think it's is it hydrangea? I think a flower, yeah, some flowers, if you want them blue, you put iron filings in. That I do know. Okay, so I'm just going to tackle a little bit of white work. If I come in a little bit more, shall we? That's it, get up close and personal. And last week I made the mistake of putting a scallop in by mistake. I think I was either talking too much. And so, but I'm going to keep it in there. I mean, obviously, if you're following along with this, you don't need to do the scallop. I'm going to work myself around the scallop when we get to the tool work, and I'll just filter that bit in to my design. I'll do something with it. But we'll sort it. It will blend in. We'll be all right. So yes, white work. My brain is all over the place today. Don't know why. So I'm just using little flicky motions, and it's almost just like giving a little stripy effect. It's not, I'm not really doing any kind of realistic white work. Just to create a little bit of interest in the flower, just so it's not all one colour. But I'm just using little flicking motions just to, it doesn't have to be very, very white. I'm only just doing one layer, just enough to change the colour a little bit. I'm just working my way. Yeah, so we've had an eventful month, the last month that's gone through. You know, we've had so many new bits and pieces out. It's been really, really lovely to see. Get my Groovi guard. It's been really lovely to see all these new things coming out. I get excited by new things. But yeah, Jazz and Barbara Paul, everybody here at Clarity has been working so hard to make sure that September was a month not to forget. It's yeah, we've had lots of birthday celebrations, and then, you know, to finish, we've had the lovely Bit the Bear. So that's been it's really lovely to have characters. I think, you know, they're perfect for little kids and big kids. I think little Bit, so much personality. So yeah, so we finished with Bit, but we've got lots more exciting things, which is always good. So yeah, I've just done a little bit of white work, nothing too major, and I'm going to do this little bit here. So hang on a minute. There we go. And I'm just using the number 4 end of my Groovi tool, and I'm just kind of just doing a side to side motion. And really just colouring it in. Just making sure that don't miss any bits. But yeah, I'm just doing a side to side motion. I'm not even flicking, I'm just more or less just colouring it in. And if you wanted to, you could do another layer a little bit, maybe next week when we come back, if you want it extra white. But I'm not putting any kind of weight or anything. Did we have any cake? I don't remember. I know that Paul came back with some fudge, and that was lovely. I had a couple of pieces of that. I love fudge. Anything toffee, caramel, or fudge. Whenever I go somewhere and I see, it's like in Cornwall, they had loads of gorgeous fudge shops. I go in and I ask for any kind of caramel fudge. I absolutely like, anytime I see a fudge shop, I always have to go in and get some caramel fudge. I don't have a sweet tooth at all, no. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of pressure on that one just to make that completely white. And then I'm just coming around here. You see, I've made it almost like a double line. And then I'm just going to fill that in some white work just to make the bow a little bit wide around the edges. There we go. That's our little tag done. Yeah, the fudge with clotted cream, oh my gosh. I would drive to Cornwall just for the fudge as well. Okay, so I've completed the white work. If I go onto the front, so I've done a little bit of white work in the flower there, and then we've done a little bit of a tag here as well. And we can go back in next week and do a little bit of more white work if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm going back with my tool, which is the number 1 and the 2 end there. And I'm just going to get my straight grid. And you don't have to do this. This is just, I'm just doing a little bit in the background here. Kind of going to move it that way so it doesn't look like it's completely straight. And I'm just filling in the circle. Yeah, I'm going back to, we've organised another holiday for Cornwall, and that's going to be in July. So I'm very excited about that. That's going to be brilliant. This time I'm going to do plenty of bodyboarding. Is it bodyboard? Yeah, bodyboarding. I don't think I would be surfing level, but definitely bodyboarding's fun. And we've managed to get a little cottage in Perranporth. Got it on booking.com. That'd be fun. So there we go. So just a little bit of grid work. You don't have to do it, but I've just done a little bit of interest in there. We're going to come back in a while and do some colouring in that anyway. Okay, so I don't think I'll need my Groovi tools anymore. So I'm going to put those back in my little tool holder. I'm going to move my mat onto the hard side. And I'm going to try and pick up my Groovi guard. There we go. Okay, so this is how far we've got now. So we've done a little bit of grid work and white work in the flower, and we've done our tag. So that's that part. So let's get into some colouring. So what I think I'll do first is I might tackle the ribbon first, and then I'll tackle the leaves, and then we can tackle the exciting colours of the flowers. Okay, so which colours did I use? So it's always a good idea to have a little bit of scrap paper just so you can test the colours. So I've got, what's that? I might use a little bit, yeah, what's this one? B12 and B13. However, because we're using a dry pencil technique, we won't actually have to use just the Bs, we can use As. So I'm going to try looking into as well A17 and A18. So yeah, I think maybe I wanted the ribbon to look kind of slightly gold, a gold tinge. So I think I'm definitely going to use the A18 because it's like a yellow ochre colour, which is that one there. And then I think I'm going to use B13 and B12 just to kind of, so we've got 3 pencils to create the ribbon. And you can see they're all kind of slightly different colours, and we can all blend them together, but you can use your dry pencils, you can use your A's and your B's together. Let me move that to one side. So I'm working on the back. However, you can also use your dry pencil technique on the front if you wanted to. What I might do as well is I could start on the back, and then if we want to intensify the colour, we can then go on the front if we wanted to. So I'm going to use the darker one first, which is B13. And all I'm doing is a little bit like embossing, is I'm just kind of just flicking. And we're just a tiny little bit. And then I'll flick. The good thing about working on the back is if you go over the lines, it doesn't matter. So we've done a little bit of that colour, and then we're working on B12. So again, I'm just going to flick, and what I'm doing is I'm actually starting at the same place as I was flicking with the darker colour, and I'm just going over the darker colour, but I'm just flicking a little bit more into the middle. Then I'm going to come in with the A18 and I'm just going over with the A18. So you're left with that. When you look on the front, you've got like a blended ribbon. Yeah, so let's do that all on the back with the ribbon. And when you're using the ribbon, it's a good idea to think, okay, so this is, you want the shadows underneath like that. And I'll probably go straight in with my A18 because it's only small. There we go. So just working over the ribbon like that really. So using I mean, you don't have to do this colour ribbon. You can use your, there's like lots of different blues and purples and pinks. So if you wanted a pink ribbon, you've got, you've got A8 and you've got A9 and you've also got A10, which is a very pale pink. So there's lots of, you could use 3 pencils of quite a few different colours. Okay, so let's go back in with my dark one. And I will just flick from the edges. And you can get carried away with colouring, can't you? If you didn't want to use the perga liners, you can always use perga colours if you wanted to. If you wanted a bold colour. So just doing little flicking motions with that dark brown. There we go. So now I'm going to come in with the B12, which is the medium shade. And I'm literally just going over, just going into the middle a little bit more than the darker one. And what you'll find is as you're using these and you're going over the darker shade, it kind of blends itself. You won't have to use Dorso oil. Unless you wanted to, of course. There we go. And then just going over the whole lot with my nice A18, which is almost like a yellow ochre colour. You don't have to be careful with the lighter colour because you can go over the whole lot. And that's one side of the ribbon done. However, this would look very, very nice on the front too. But that's what it looks like. You can see the difference in the colour. You can then go in with the B13 if you wanted to. If I sharpen my pencil a tiny bit. There we go. You can go right into the corner and just deepen the colour, but don't press too hard. But just literally just right into the corners. Tiniest little bit. And if you're not happy with any of it on the front, you can always go back in with the Faber-Castell eraser. There we go. So you can darken the colour if you wanted to. Okay, so, and then I'm just going to do the same with this side of the ribbon as well. So exactly the same I'm using the darkest colour again. And that was part of the ribbon, so that's coming from here. Just little flicking motions. There we go. So easy to disappear into your own world when you're doing colouring. So sometimes I look up and see what national day it is today. So I actually looked up this morning just to see what the national day in England is today. And there's 4 that came up. So that you've got National Inner Beauty Day, which I thought was nice. It's nice to talk about inner beauty instead of outward beauty in our society nowadays. And everything is, you know, you've got to look young and you've got to look a certain way. So I think that's really nice. Then it's National LED Light Day. Now, I don't know how these days come about and who decides whether an LED light needs a national day. I don't know how that gets worked out. Apparently, it's National Frappe Day. Why you'd want a frappe when it's freezing cold in autumn, I have no idea. You know, maybe a hot chocolate day, but not. I would understand if a frappe day was in summer. And then the last one is National Taco Day. Has anybody had a taco? I've never had one. Never tasted it. Not sure. But yeah, so those are the national days today. Funny, isn't it? Who decides that certain things need certain days? But I always find it interesting to I have a little thing on my phone that kind of tells me what day it is today. And if you look at, and it's usually just the one, but then if you kind of go into it, it gives you all of the others that have felt the need to have a certain day. I must try one. There we go. So that's it on the front. Okay. I've noticed on the front as well. The good thing about these pink erasers is that you can erase. I can see I've got a little bit of the colour on the white line because I'm getting excited about colouring. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now, why have I got so many? This one. Okay. So with the middle of the bow, I'm just flicking just this tiniest edge on the side. And then just a little bit more with the medium shade, which is your B12. And then going over into the middle with my A18. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so with my darker shade, I'm actually going to go in and colour these parts of the bows because they're going to be in the darkest because they're behind. So I'm just using my darker shade just to fill those in. There we go. So, and I will just be working just on the edge here. So this is quite nice colouring, and the fact that you're learning how to dry pencil colour on the back isn't so bad then, because it's on the back. And parchment is sometimes quite forgiving on the sense of, like, if you try blending two colours together, it doesn't look so bad. But we're only doing this ever so, like, quickly. It doesn't have to be, you can spend longer doing it, but it doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. So I'm just going over the whole lot with my lightest shade, the A18. There we go. That's your bow. So that's one side. If you wanted to, you can colour a little bit on the front if you wanted to, or you can keep it like that. However, like, if you like the intensity, if you didn't go in with the number 1 or the 2 with the tool and went in with the number 3 or 4 to do all of this, you could colour on the front, because it's a lot more intense on this side. Okay, so I'm just going to tackle the other side now. So I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going with my darkest shade. And I think I'll do this all the way over all of the ribbon first. So work with one colour over the whole ribbons. Can't quite believe we're in October already. I really do not know where the time went. Time flies when you're having fun, and I must admit this year I've had a lot of fun. We've had plenty of workshops. We've got an exciting craft along happening soon for Barbara's craft along, the calendar craft along. And then we've also got Barbara's gel press course, which is the 18th of October, I believe. That's going to be using our co-inks on the jelly plate. So if you like using a jelly plate, or you're a little bit stuck on how to use your jelly plate, then that will come in really handy. But then if you're into your parchment, you might like to come for the 1, 2, 3 course for the perforating and picot cutting. So that's going to be exciting. That's our last course of the year. We're in the middle of organising all of the courses for next year, so that's going to be exciting as well. Looking forward to that. But yeah, so we launched the course, the perforating and picot cutting course, on Sunday, so only recently. So if you wanted to learn how to picot cut, I'll be showing you all of the techniques, all of the different ways of how you can hold the scissors, the different ways in which you can use them to create that perfect picot. So I'll use all 3 scissors when I teach, just so you can see, you know, if you're struggling, you know, that because we've got these great, you know, it's up close and personal, and we have, you know, you can really see up close how to picot cut. I reckon it would It would look really good then. But yeah, I've got the course booklets here actually. It was here from Sunday still. So if you wanted to attend, the number 60228, I'm going to be using these 3 plates, which is really nice. But we're doing a little bit of colouring, and that even if you know how to pico cut, it's going to be like 3 craft alongs. You're going to be crafting along with me and Paul, and we're going to be doing three cards and a little bit of nice bit of grid work, nice bit of tool work, using the diagonal and the straight grid. And after all 3 modules, you'll come out with 3 finished cards, which is nice. So for £60 you've got 3 craft alongs really. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. So just using my nearly finished with the darkest pencil. There we go. So I'm going to go over the darkest shade with the B12, which is our medium shade. So I'll start from here and work my way around. We've got quite a catalogue of online courses now, which is brilliant. Our college is getting even bigger. And next year it's going to be even bigger than that. Lots more teaching involved. I'm looking forward to all of Barbara's deli plate courses as well. That'd be fun. Looking forward to that. Oh, I forgot to do the darkest shade behind. Just do that quickly. So obviously this kind of colouring, if you're using a combination of colours, will take a little bit longer, because I've done a tiny bit of white work, a little bit of grid work and 2 ribbons. And we're 40 minutes in. I can't believe that. It goes quick. 2 p.m. Paul and Jazz will be back with you. So if you can make that, that'd be good. We're going to be showing some Christmas dies. Paul's going to work his magic with his die cutter. Paul's very good at die cutting. Got a construction brain. Can do all of the. I hope my head's not in the way. He was very good at pattern building as well. He's very good at that too. But I like watching Paul and Barbara create amazing things on the die cutting machine. I don't die cut as much as I would like to. I think I should die cut more. It's nice, you can make some really lovely quick cards with die cutting, can't you? I should do a lot more of everything, to be fair. I wish there was more hours in the day. Need time. Time is a gift. I need more time. Yeah, do that, Jane. Get your jelly plate out. What size are you getting out? The 6x6 or the 8x10? And what are you using? Alcohol inks or acrylic paints or distress oxides? I'd like to know. Okay, so I'm just Oh, hello. What happened with my thing? Where's it gone? Rude. Come back. Doesn't like me. There we go. Okay, so I'm just then going over the whole ribbon with my lightest shade and blending the colours in. There you go. So just continuing with my ribbon. We're getting there. We're getting there, everyone. We're getting there. I'm very excited. On next month, for my birthday, my we're going to see the musical of Wicked. I've watched the first part of the film, but yeah, we're going to see the second. We're going to see the actual theatre production. I've always wanted to see that. I've always seen it advertised on TV. It was advertised for ages on the TV. We were either going to see Harry Potter Cursed Child or Wicked. So we stuck with Wicked. There we go. So, ribbon has been done. Yay! So there's our ribbon. There and there. Okay. So, now what are we doing? What did I say we were going to do? Oh yeah, the leaves. So I'm going to put my browns to one side. And I'm going to get out. What am I going to get out? I'm going to get out B6 and B7. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to get those two out. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to use I'm going to start off with the leaves over this side. I might need to sharpen that actually. Excuse me while I sharpen my pencil. There we go, nice and sharp. Oh, sorry, I've spoken about too many things now. Sally said, "What date would that be, Louise?" What's that for? Sorry. Date for what? I've spoken about so many things. My brain's gone fuzzy. Date of the day I'm going to see Wicked. Maybe. I think it's the weekend after my birthday. So birthday's on the 18th of November. So 19, 20, 21, 22nd? Is that what we're talking about? I'm sorry, my brain is kaplunked, even if that's not a word. Oh, my birthday, sorry, yeah, 18th. It'll actually be Groovi Tuesday. So I'll be with everyone here on my birthday. Or Groovi Tuesday. So all I'm doing with my leaves is I'm just going on one side with my darker green and then over with my lightest shade here, and then I'm bringing in my lightest shade in with the darker pencil so it kind of blends together. These pencils are quite creamy, so they blend really easily actually. Okay, so just there we go. So there's our leaf, our leafy leaf. I'm just going to get a stencil brush. I do this all the time. I forget my stencil brush. Very good for this kind of thing. There we go. Get all the pigment off. Very handy. Just don't use one that's got a lot of ink on it. Oh, cake. Yes, that'd be nice. I might go into Greg's and get a glazed donut. That'd be nice. But yeah, cake. That'd be nice. I'll get some cake in on my birthday. That please everyone. So you can colour like that. However, if you didn't want, you could then also, if you wanted to, come out from the side and flick like that. And then you come from this side and flick. So you could blend that way if you wanted to. Or you can blend the other way. So there's choices. Chocolate cake. And that'd be nice. And it doesn't really matter about flicking into the dark, because once you start blending it, it kind of blends itself. So yeah, it's two different ways of doing it. So if you want it really pronounced with a dark edge like that, you could do that. I quite like this way. That's quite nice too. It kind of blends a bit more seamlessly in. You can see it's not as blended on this leaf as it is on this leaf. So that might be the way to go if you wanted to blend in like that. Or you can blend in like this. Think that actually I might blend that closer together like that. I think it looks better like that. What do you think? Yes, we've got 2 p.m. today with Jazz and Paul, and then Friday. Hold on, there we go. Friday, Paul will be on Hobby Maker with some new all-in-one plates, which are very, very nice. So yeah, that'll be fun. Looking forward to that. I'm kind of, when I'm flicking with this leaf, I'm kind of curving with the lines a little bit because the leaf is kind of curling in. Oh, lemon drizzle cake. That sounds nice. Yeah, lemon drizzle cake. Would that be your cake of choice, Jane? Does anybody have any other cakes they prefer apart from lemon drizzle? So I'm just going to flick from this side. Kind of curving in with the leaf. Oh yeah, okay, I'll stop talking about sweet treats, Jane. If you're trying to be good. That is very good. No sweet treats or alcohol in October. I've already failed. I failed on the 1st. I don't think I'd be able to do that. I admire your willpower. Oh God, chocolate fudge cake. Yes. Yes, chocolate fudge cake. Coffee cake. Do coffee and walnut cake. Yeah, putting the walnuts on the top. Sorry, Jane. Getting carried away now. I always do that. I always make people want to eat cake. I should be more good, shouldn't I? Stop leading people down the garden path of naughty sweet treats. I think I should have a bit more willpower when it comes to eating naughty stuff. Okay, so that's our leaves. I don't think there's any more leaves on this side. Black Forest Gatto. Oh my gosh. Wow. That sounds delicious. There we go. So we've done our leaves. Yay! On that side anyway. I'm going to tackle the leaves on the other side now. There we go. Right, so I'm going to bring in my darker one. I think I told everybody what colours they were. They were B6 and B7. There's so many nice colours as well. You've got really lovely olivey green. That's B15. That would look really nice. Okay, so let's tackle. So again, just flicking. When you're kind of flicking your leaves as well, you might want to keep it so that they're all on the same side. So you start off on the middle on this side. So you would do the same on this side of the leaf, just so it's all uniform and they look a bit more realistic-ish. And I thought I'd just do all one side first. So we might be spending another week doing some nice colouring next week, because we haven't even got to the flowers yet. I'm just tackling this little leaf here. There we go. So go back here now. Oh, I'm going to create a little bit of darkness behind here, because that will be the shadow. So I'm going to come from this side now and flick. Okay. Your original pencil is 1 inch long. B15. Oh yes, the olivey green. I just had to double think then. There are some nice colours in here. Okay. Last side. What's my most used pencil? Probably the B14. It's probably my most used pencil. It's the pink. Yeah, and the B5, which is the purple. Wonder why. There we go. So that is the B6 done. So then I'm just going to go over with my B7 over everything. It just kind of blends seamlessly, even if you just colour lightly over it. You don't need to. I mean, obviously we're not being overly careful because it's the back. If you were working on the front and doing dry pencil work, then you would want to take a bit more care. But it doesn't matter so much when you're working on the back. There we go. There are our leaves. If you wanted to, you could always intensify the colour on the front. Really make the white lines stand out. If you put a little bit of a, I mean, you'd have to be a little bit careful because you're working on the front now. But just to create a bit of darkness on one side of the leaf. Which makes the white line stand out quite a lot as well. And it really gives you that darkness. And then you could, if you wanted to, just flick a little bit. And that's if you wanted to intensify the colour on the front. And you could go in with just a dry nib if you're careful. I mean, the good thing is you get some really good points on here. And just smudge it in a little bit. So you can see there's quite a big difference between the two leaves. But that's only if you wanted to work a little bit on the front and just build a little bit of intensity on the front. But yeah, you could do that. No, I'm not too keen on Christmas cake. When I was a child, I used to eat the marzipan and the icing that was over the Christmas cake. I used to get told off. But it was worth it because it was really nice. So in the end, I think we used to do like little sweeties that were like little marzipan balls. I used to put a little walnut or something on top. I used to get some colouring like green and red when I was a little girl. I used to colour the marzipan, make them into little balls, put a walnut on top, and then when we got to eat them, I'd take the walnut off, I'd eat the walnut first, and then I'd kind of smudge the marzipan and nibble it. But yeah, so that, I digress again. So yeah, so that's the difference in which you can colour on the front. And if you wanted to, just before I go, I will be very quick, I promise. You could come in with your lighter colour as well and intensify the colour on the front there, just on the edges, just to kind of make it a little brighter. That's up to you. There we go. So it's a little bit more intense than this leaf. Yes, petit fours, that's the ones. They were really nice. I used to love making them. Okay, so let me just bring us out a little bit so we can see what we've done so far. So we've done the ribbon, check. We've done our little, it looks like a little ball now, doesn't it? Accidentally put the scallop on. That's what happens when you talk too much. Yeah, you can really see the intensity of the leaf opposed to the others. But yeah, so we got the leaves, so you know, doesn't matter which way you put it really, but I think I might have it this way, which would be the opposite to this way. So yeah, I thought I'd just do it opposite. So yeah, so next week we'll tackle the flowers next week. Yeah, we'll tackle the flowers, and after that, then we've got the little tag to make, and a nice little bit of a nice border, but that will take time as well. But yeah, next week we'll concentrate on the flowers. Okay. Okay. So it was lovely spending an hour with you today. Yeah, we'll tackle the flowers next Tuesday. So we'll keep on using our pergoliners for that, and we'll do a little bit of blending with the dorsal oil with the flowers. So that's cool. But there's so many colours on the B's and the A's. So if you're doing a dry pencil technique, you've got a lot more choice of colours because you know you've got the A's and the B's together, and there's some really lovely bright colours in the A's as well. So yeah, so at 2 p.m. we have Paul and Jazz. They will be doing some die cutting with you. And then Friday there is Paul up at Hobby Maker. So that's something else to look forward to with our new all-in-one plate. So they're exciting. But thank you very much, Jane, for keeping everybody in the chat well organised with bits and pieces, links and things. And thank you for feeding things through to me. That was great as well. So thank you very much. I will see everybody probably now next Tuesday, because I'm not going to be on until next Tuesday, unless I'm on Monday. But I think it's just Tuesday. All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye.